So in the last video we went over what integers are, and today I want to discuss how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide with integers. Alright, let's begin. So in the last video I talked about how integers are whole numbers that do not include decimals and fractions, and they can include negative numbers. So examples would be negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. But the big question is, how can we use integers with operations? So let me just draw a number line here. We'll have this in the middle be 0, then 1. Excuse my terrible handwriting, I'm sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, then negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and negative 4. Let's do a math problem. 1 minus 3. So there may be a chance you've come across like a problem like this where a number that's on the right of a minus sign is greater than the one on the left. This is not that hard of a question because we can just use a number line. So let's start at 1 and we'll go 1, 2, 3, negative 2. So we can say 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Okay, that wasn't so hard. Let's try negative 2 plus 5. Negative 2 plus 5. We would go, sorry, let me use in a different color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this case, negative 2 plus 5 equals 3. Now, there may be a chance you may come across problems that include an addition and a subtraction and a subtraction sign. Let's take a look at one. Sorry, my number line again. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse my handwriting. There may be a chance you've seen problems such as negative 2 minus negative 1. And you may be thinking, oh my god, there are two negative signs here. How am I supposed to do this? There's a little trick in math that I want to show you guys. So I like to think of a positive sign as simply two negative signs, and vice versa, or sorry, not vice versa. So the little trick is, if you see a problem like this where there's two negative signs, you think, oh, since there's two negative signs here, there's 1 and 2, meaning that they add up to form a plus sign. Let me rephrase. When there are an even number of negative signs, they turn into a positive. And when there are an odd number of what's called negative signs, they turn into a negative. So this problem can be rewritten as negative 2 plus 1, which, if we go here, that's negative 1. Now let's try negative 3 plus, oh god, that's disgusting. Negative 3 plus negative 2. So we can see that here, this plus sign is made up of oh my god, two negative signs based off of here, and this negative sign is just 1. So if we add them up, that becomes 3 negative signs in total. So we can rewrite this problem as negative 3 minus 2, which equals 1, 2, negative 5. So we can say negative 3 minus 2 equals negative 5. Now we got that down. Let's see how these operations work. Let's see how integers can work with multiplying and dividing as well. Let's take negative 7 times 8. we can see there's a singular negative sign, and keep in mind this 8 can be rewritten as both a positive 8 and 8. So if you see like -7 times positive 8, they're basically just, they're not basically, they are the same thing. Yeah. So this, you can say that either in total there is one negative sign, or in total there are three negative signs, because 1 and 2, 3. And we already know that 7 times 8 is 56, and since there are 3 negative signs, and since an odd number of negative signs equates to a minus sign, we can say that -7 times 8 equals -56. Alright? Now let's look at this problem down here. -7 times, let's change this to a -7 times -8. We know that 7 times 8 is 56, and we can see that there are 2 negative signs. And what does that turn into? A positive sign. So we can write this answer as positive 56, or we can just write it as 56. Your choice. And it's the same thing with dividing as well. Let's say 4 divided by -2. We know 4 divided by 2 is 2, and since there is one negative sign, or you can say 3 negative signs if you want to include the fact that this is a positive 4, we can say that because there are an odd number of negative signs, it turns into a minus sign, so -2. Oh god, my handwriting. Now, let's look at another problem. Let's do 14 minus -1, I guess, sure, -1. We can see that there is a singular minus sign here, so in total there is one negative sign, or 3 if you want to include the fact that this is a positive 14. We can say that 14 divided by 1 is obviously 14, but because there are an odd number of negative signs, this becomes negative. Right, that's basically it. See you guys tomorrow. Or, not tomorrow, see you guys next time.